Alright, this is my 2001 Dodge Ram 3500 here. Back working on another project. This is my 2001 Dodge Ram 3500. As you can see, it's suffered some damage. My cheap repairs, my Indiana cab corner, the rocker panel's all gone. I've done stuff to this. I've replaced lower sections of the door, but that's starting to give. The bed's in okay shape, other than the fender. I use it to haul this around to do some side projects. You can see my toolbox set up in the back, and it's time to do some upgrades. What we got? I purchased this flatbed probably somewhere around 10 years ago. I've been using it as like a metal rack and a catch-all. You can see the moss and leaves and sticks from where it's sat around. A welding rig for mobile work, side work type thing. See, here's an old fifth wheel hitch. I'm sorry, not fifth wheel, gooseneck. Look how the rust has built up in between and flared this section out. This piece is just completely rotted. Same thing here. It's rusted, flared out. Same issue on the other side. Give you a little more perspective. So I got to cut all that off anyway. Eventually I'm going to treat the frame. Even here, look at this. The two sections of frame where it's built up in between. Look how much is pushed out. I got to clean all that junk out. Both sides are the same. Try to make this frame last. Clean all this off. I'll get this off, and then I'll evaluate the damage. I'll probably have to show you. Won't be tonight. I'm going to lose my light by the time I get this thing cut off. So, but I'll show you guys what's going on. After some hammering and beating, I finally got it loose. I'll have to show you what's going on tomorrow. So you can see the heavy rust flake, how thick it is on there. That was behind that gooseneck hitch. It's pretty bad shape. I'll have to reinforce it. Show you the other side. It's almost as bad, just part of it. Thankfully it's not too far gone that it can't be fixed, so that's what I'm going to do after I get the bed fit. Alright, as you can see, there is some difference in positioning. Looks like I'm going to have to cut both of these loose on both sides. This is the main forward front to back structure that will set obviously on the truck frame. It is setting flush on the other side, so I've determined that this thing here, both of them are going to have to be moved out. Unfortunately, it's a little bit, I don't remember what the numbers were. I think 1 3/8. I got to move both of those, both of these here, outward 1 3/8 of an inch on both sides to keep things center. So that'll be good. Plus, it'll help clear that shock tower that it's interfering with up toward the front there. All right, let me right there. I'm gonna have some bed repair to do. This is where that gooseneck was mounted. There's lots of heavy pitting there, so I'm going to have to reinforce that. It's just going to be part of it. And other than that, it's looking pretty good. Let me show you the other side. Currently, next step is to move the truck from out underneath it. Lift this back up, move the truck out. Then I have to figure out some way to flip it or stand it up on edge. I think I have the height to do that. Then I got to mark everything out. Oh, I got an itch. Got to mark everything out, then cut those supports loose and move them outward. So that's the next big task. All that. Other side, same area, just as bad. Frame rot. So I'm gonna have to repair this side as well. It is currently sitting flush. It does need to go forward a little bit. Sorry about the lighting. It does need to go forward a few inches, but as you can see in the back here, this bed is quite a bit longer than the original truck bed that was on here. I mean, you can see my hitch location, which would have stuck out flush with the back bumper. The hitch location here, or the ball hitch slash location on this one, is quite a bit further back. It probably won't seem as far once I get it shoved forward. I'll get a better feel for that here very soon, now that I have my dimensions. That's where we're at. The next little bit is just hard work. So it's warming up. It's going to be a warm one today. We'll just do what we can, man. Here we have it. A little sketchy. Not too bad. All flipped over. This and this is what we've got to spread out and get it to line up with the frame rail. So that's the next step. I got to evaluate what it's going to take to cut that loose. I noticed it's going to affect this some. I'll figure that out. I don't think I'm going to use that. I really don't know yet. We'll see. I'll figure something out on it. All right, progress update. I've been fighting yellow jackets. I had some nests nearby, and they didn't like me making all that noise. Anyway, channel's cut loose. I've already started the cleanup, removal of the old weld, because the adjustment in them is going to be very close. It's not a lot. Let me just say that it's not a lot, but it's enough that it may just interfere with the old weld and the old spot. So channel's cleaned up. Next step is I'm going to clean the side, the hard side. I'm going to clean it with a wire wheel. I got to run out and grab some paint. I'm at least going to paint that side, because that's the side that's going to be down or up against the bed, closest to the bottom of the bed, and I'm not going to be able to do anything with it. Eventually, I hope after it's all built, I'll find somebody who can sandblast it for me, and then I'll probably paint it. So that's where we're at. Here's an update. Still fighting the bees, in case you're wondering. These are welded back on, fit where I believe they belong. I got some big plans. I'm going gonna do, the plan is exhaust stacks. So I got to make something, or I got to get some material that will bridge across that the exhaust can tie into. It's also going to serve as a dual purpose for the headache rack. It'll probably just tie into the existing headache rack. I'll just shape it to match. And then it's also going to serve a structural support, because I want to put me a removable, like winch boom or nice and hot. Give it a little bit. I have to cool down. Probably paint it later. Now it's time to figure out what the next step is. Over, hanging in the air. Go back the Dodge up underneath it, line it back up, make sure everything lines up good. Get an idea of where I'm going to put my mounting brackets. And then I'll probably take it back off again and start doing the repair on the frame that's needed. So that's what we're doing next. We're back at it. So we got some pieces cut. These are going to act as L brackets to help secure the bed to the truck frame. That'll make sense after I get them cleaned up and tacked together. Here's the others. It's basically simulating angle iron, but I needed something that was like a 5x3, which is what those will end up being, and that's to catch the front brackets. Oh, these here, because these stick out this direction further, and back here it should just line up with that channel to the edge of the bed frame, so that should work out there. That'll give me, oh, what is that, 4, I think 5, 6, 8 points. Yeah, 8 points of hold down, which I would think would be sufficient for anything I'm doing. Here's what we got. There's the one, there's the second, and then we use the 2 old bed mounts up there. That makes 4 for this side, same for the other. Not the prettiest weld, not the best material to be welding on, but I'm sure it's sound, so that's what matters to me. And that's what we got going on. I still have to repair that section of frame there. I'm not too concerned about it. I'll do it when the bed comes back off. Right now I'm going to proceed forward. What I'm really struggling with is whether or not I'm going to trim the length of this bed down. It is a bit longer than the old bed. I've probably mentioned that already, and I'm not super thrilled with it just because it makes it look kind of goofy. And you know, I mean, if I got to stare at it, it matters to me. So that's kind of where we're at. Here we are with an update. Welder is positioned where I think it's going to go. Toolbox is about where I think they're going to go. And then right there, oxygen acetylene, they're going to be recessed down in the bed so they're not so tall, and hopefully they won't be any taller than the headache rack itself. That makes me feel better, and I think it's going to clear everything for future efforts. Like, I'm going to have stacked exhaust coming up through there, straight up hill jack, because that's what I like. And I think I'm pretty happy with these right here and their placement. I'm not sure if I'm going to cut the bed down just yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I'm pretty happy with the progress. Let me show you. All right, here it is. So, puts my controls, fairly easy access. It does push the welder slightly off center, which shifts the weight a little bit, but I think I'll make up a little bit of that with the placement of these. I do like them. The original effort wasn't to tuck them in so far, but now that I think about it, and from a safety standpoint, I think that's going to be best if ever there's a side collision, God forbid. Maybe that'll give me a little bit of protection and I don't go kaboom, which I'm sure you all might be thinking that with those placements of bottles on there. If I leave the bed links like it is, I'm going to mount me some sort of rotational jib crane, this side or the other side. I keep thinking this is the side I want it on. And then I was trying to work that hinge for the fifth wheel cover slash flap thing, and of course the only thing it flexed was the hinge itself, not the metal to the hinge, not the hinge. So it broke off, so I've got to redo that. No big deal. Still got to make mounts for that, mounts for these, and we're making progress. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about it yet. I still want to leave room for my argon bottle. If for some reason I see the need for that, I have a place for it. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to go about that just yet. Still thinking it through, but that's where we are. Stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated on the progress of the work. So going good. One step closer. This is what I was thinking about as far as recessing the bottles in there. Keeps it just below the headache rack, or right close to the top. I'll finish closing that in, add in a drain hole for water, and that'll protect it. Plus I'm going to add a little framework on the bottom to make it a little more rigid. And then I'll figure out what it takes to finish that up. A mock-up of my setup to start with. Definitely going to have the vise on this side. Makes most sense in the direction that the sparks generally fly. Gives me some maneuverability and keeps, hopefully, things out of harm's way, sparks out of harm's way. The homemade anvil thing there, it's probably not going to go there. That may end up going on a hitch where I can plug it in or push it in, or kind of slide it into a hitch and pull it back out as needed. Because I really want to put my jib crane probably on this side, possibly on this side. I may make efforts to make it either side if I decide I want to change it up, but we'll see. I have not cut the bed back. I decided to wait until I got everything on there to see if it was going to hold everything the way I wanted it to. The welder's not, the face of it's not going the direction that I wanted, but this makes the most sense because of my fuel inlet right there, and my exhaust outlet. This way it's not on the side of the headache rack near the cabin in my way. Continuing on a Monday evening, we're back on the Dodge pickup, wanting to box in around the oxygen acetylene pocket that I put in the bed. Let me show you let me show you what's going on. This is what we got to do. one side. Alright, that was the last one. Did these three already. Rough them up so they'll take paint. That's the next step. Alright, so I tried this little orbital sander. I don't feel like it's getting it rough enough, so I'm just going to go back to the old school way, which is a lot more work. That's where I'm at right now. Let's get it roughed up. Trying to beat the rain. It's trying to rain on me. I got these moved inside. It's my high-tech paint booth. We'll wipe them down and get them ready for some paint. Box is built. I'll have to finish some welding on it afterwards. Try to get the bed back off to hit some areas I couldn't get to. Drain holes for condensation, moisture, rain. Stitch welded around the perimeter. Vertical supports. Let me show you on the bottom. As you can see, added in some bracing on the bottom, stiffen everything up. Alright, so I'm making progress on the Dodge. However, I did goof up. I got in a hurry. I forgot to drill holes in these hold down pads, or foot pads if you will. I made these angles to bolt up here. I wanted a little bit of space where this would not ride directly on the bed, but I wanted it to support the full length of it, so that's what we're doing. I got to go back and drill holes in all four of these. That's what I'm putting on there. Hopefully that'll make life a little easier on getting this thing off and on if I need to. It won't take as long. So that's the plan. Next step, drill these, get it set back up there. I'm going to attempt to drill the holes on the bed. Hopefully that'll work that way. Although I'm not sure if I'll be able to get between the welder and the headache rack to be sufficient. So we'll see. Maybe I can get something started. After that, I'm going to make some hold down brackets for the toolboxes, the side toolboxes, so I can get those about where I want them, and then I'm to the point where I'm going to have to make a decision on the bed length. What I need to do now is, like I said, I need to finish drilling these, so that's what we're doing. All right. Next step, back on the truck. got these bolts at least dropped in, nuts started. I got to go to the other side, get them started. My cordless drill didn't have enough battery, so I had to go to the electric drill, and that's just part of it. Get these in there. One. Guess you guys can see that maybe better than I can. Tell me if I'm close. Alright. Had to reach around that way to get it, so thanks for the help. Alright, gotta reach underneath here. Oh, stuff in the way. Gotta get a nut on that one. Probably gonna come from the other side of the truck on that one. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get my hand around there. Yep, we'll see what I can get done. When I get back with you, I won't be able to have you help me with this. Tighten down. So that thing is now locked into place. Time to move on to make some brackets. For these, I'm just going to do an L bracket. It will bolt to the bed. Sorry, an L bracket. Bolt to the bed, bolt to the toolbox. Voila, 4 locations mounted. Well, I got to drill holes, but that's the easy hard part. Deburr those a little bit and drill some holes, and we'll see what we can get done. All right, set them at least set them in place now. A and B. There's B, B, A. A and B. I marked these per side. So where A goes in there. B is going to go in there. Right there. Alrighty. I'm going to get the drill set up. Get stuff cleared out of the way on the inside of the toolboxes. Get the holes drilled, maybe in the toolbox. Perhaps get it bolted there. And then that'll probably be it for the night. All bolted down. Good to go. One down, one to go. I'm going to go ahead and cut the tail end of this bed off and shorten it. Done. Here's my line. We're going to lop that off. I've already cut it loose from underneath. I dropped the hitch off already. Burnt the bolts off, got it down. Now the next step is I'm going to trim this tail section off, and then I have some front and back runners. I'll figure out my actual length of bed once that's revealed, and then I'll determine what exactly I need to cut off the tail section to slide it all back together. It'll make more sense once I get it there. But the next big step is to get the tail section off and adjust from there. Yep, there it is. So as you can see, shortening it was a challenge because these are in the way, so I've got to cut these loose, remove them, including that one. I got to cut that one loose, and then I can figure out how much to trim it upwards or cut it in, and then I'll just cut off. See, I got to do some trimming, remove these little stub sections there and there, and then I'll cut out, basically I'm bobbing the bed, so I'm just going to cut out what I need off of that, and then slide it back up there and reattach it. That's the goal. Move a couple things out of the way. Oh, I was going to trial fit it and I can't. I got to cut these off. Alright. Never mind, let me get set up for that. So I've actually started cutting, as you can tell. Get this part done before I put those pieces on. I can figure out where to cut it at. So that's where we're at, and that's what we got going on. The plan is to just try to get this thing cut and mostly ready, maybe tacked back together before it gets too dark once again. Yeah. That's not terrible. Okay, maybe it is. We ended up about where we wanted to be, at about 12. There, a little trim there. Let me show you what's going on. Come on in here. So, gonna have to do a little trim here so that this will fit a little better. Maybe, I don't know, probably have to leave that. Oh yeah. Alright, got this section, tail section all cleaned up. Good news is I've got my backing strip in here, which will make up some of the for the inaccurate cut. So that's good. But you know what? It is what it is. It'll be perfectly fine. I decided I am not going to dub the thing. One, for the difficulty level for the channel that you can see. The way it's welded in there is going to be way too much trouble to cut it loose and redo it. I really don't want to put new material in it. That, and by doing it, even though it helps with the aesthetics, it reduces this area that I need for that jib crane down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back on there square. Maybe I'll go back and section the corner off. It's probably not even worth that. Let's see. I did get things stood up here. these cut out because I'm going to block these back in. I've got a couple ideas, designs in my head of what I want to do, but I'm waiting on the tail lights. They should be in tomorrow. But it was easier to get that stuff cleaned off now. All right, next step, hang it. That's not going to work there. That's probably going to be in the way. Let's go anyway, because it's extremely light. That's what I want. It really looks like it's flipped out on the bottom. I don't like that. Gigantic gap right there. That don't seem to be fitting well. Perfect. Do a couple small hot tacks to get it going. And I'll come back and figure out some way to pull this up. Get that bow out of it. Let's go. Might have to back that into something to straighten it out. Well, that's a gap. Gonna be it for this video for this week. Stay tuned for next week. We'll continue in on the Dodge build. I'm calling it the Dodge Do-All because I want it to have a multifunction and be able to accommodate different projects and things I want to do in the future. So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. And stay tuned. I will have some new material for the red square body. So if you guys are watching for that, just know that it is in the works, and I will have some stuff on it very soon. Thanks for watching.